Hello and welcome to another less than 20 quid Chinese mic episode. We looked at that little condenser the other day and it held its own really well, and for 20 quid it was really, really good. So I thought I'd have a look at something else. This type of microphone. Well, when you see them in the picture, and this one was less than 20 quid again, you're gonna, you expect it. Well, let's be honest, you're going to expect a pile of poo. But this is heavy. This bit is cast. It's probably aluminium or some other, reasonably light alloy, but it's metal. XLR on the back, and a very familiar sort of design philosophy. I mean, it's a bit like a slightly small SM7B, what you're listening to me on now. But, is this going to be any good for less than 20 quid? Now, when you look a bit more carefully, you discover a few things. Pop off this, and inside is what looks like a normal handheld dynamic capsule, even with the grill. It looks like someone has taken a fairly standard handheld dynamic, taken the capsule off the front of it, and stuck it into a big body. Now, that bit's rigid, there's no isolation there, so let's... Yep, inside a very typical looking, apart from the blue colour, I've never seen a blue one before, but it's a very typical capsule. It's rigidly fixed as well, so there's no sort of rubber surround to isolate it. So whether that reflects itself in the handling noise when you touch it, we'll have to see. But that's not a bad design really, is it? Stick that on, that's some wind suppression, and then a fairly attractive foam windshield in the front. There is a version I noticed on the website that's got XLR and a USB, so you could have a USB and analog version if you wanted. I just picked the XLR because I'm not particularly interested in USB microphones at all. No use to me. But first impressions, pretty good. The vast proportion of people who buy these type of microphones use them close in. At the moment, you're listening to me on my SM7B at my usual distance away, which is a bit further. So let's swap to the copy SM7B. So this is the SM7B, no preamp. Neither of these mics have got the preamp connected. The SM7B is lower output than this new one that I've got hold of. But close in like this, it doesn't really matter, and I don't need the preamp. So we're on the SM7B copy, which, to be perfectly fair, is very, very close to the genuine SM7B. So much so that I've had to stick a little label on the back so I don't get them mixed up. So this is the SM7B copy that people are buying. I mean, you see quite a lot of them about them, and the sales are doing pretty well. Let's swap to the less than 20 quid version that isn't pretending to be anything. So we're now on this. I mean, it's quite an attractive microphone, I guess. I mean, the brand means nothing. FDUCE, F-D-U-C-E, doesn't mean a thing, does it really? It's just a name that someone thought would be nice on a microphone. But in actual fact, I mean, if we while I'm chatting, we'll switch between the two microphones so you can get an idea of which one sounds different. But at this distance, we've actually got a fairly useful microphone, I think. What I will do, let's experiment with some handling noise. If I just touch the body of the SM7B while I'm actually using it, and let's try moving it a tiny bit. There we go. That's moving it in the mic and clanking across the end when I hit the stand. So that's what the SM7B does when you touch it. Let's try the other one. So this is our cheap one. So if I move this one in the mount, well, I suppose for a £20 microphone, we should expect a little bit different performance. But realistically, as long as you're not going to actually thump it and do it and cause it lots of grief, it's actually not bad, is it? Well, what do you think? I must admit, I quite like this. For less than 20 quid, you've got a microphone that you could use on YouTube that does my voice no disservice at all. It's a fairly warm sounding dynamic, exactly the same sort of sound as we expect to get from things like SM7Bs, but it's 20 quid. It's got a bit of handling noise. I can live with that, I guess. The price makes it an extremely useful thing, and realistically for 20 quid you expect to get a pile of poo, and it's not. It's really good. So have a hunt around. You might even find it with a different brand name on the side, same product just with a different sort of branding. Search it out and buy one. These are really nice. See you on the next video. Take care.